It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, it's your host, Catherine Lang.
Hello there, and welcome to Growing Hope. I am Catherine Lang, your face of encouragement, voice of encouragement, just your all-around general encourager extraordinaire. Always finding a way to be an encouragement, always finding a way to enjoy this journey. I mean, if we're not enjoying the journey, it is time to change rides. It's been long since time to change rides if you're not enjoying the journey. We are called to live in joy because joy gives us the strength to stand. Joy gives us the strength to take the next step. Joy gives us the strength to encourage and support others in their journey. We need to find joy. And joy is an inner thing. It is a heart issue. It is not something that it comes from circumstances and situations. It grows up in the heart and pours outward into the circumstances. So that when you're going through a tough time or you're going through a rough time, that joy makes the journey possible. And encouragement is a great way to infuse joy into the journey. So I'm here, you're here, let's find some encouragement. And we have been on this journey to live our best lives by growing up from being a caterpillar and untethering ourselves to the limitations of the world and getting our wings and taking flight into all of our possibilities. And then we started finding ways to keep on keeping on living this possibility, living our possibilities, living our unique design. And this week is the final week of all of these series that have been working on helping us live our unique design. This week, it's all about to keep reaching, keep daring to stretch out of your comfort zone, never settling into complacency. We need to be content where we are, but we need to continually stretch to where we want to be. You have to keep reaching if you're going to move from where you are to where you want to be. So this week, we're going to be taking a chance on something new, trying something in a different way, stepping out beyond our comfort zone, doing a little bit and doing a little bit more. And you hear me talk a lot about doing little bits and doing a little bit more because it's important that we understand it doesn't have to be giant leaps. Every little bit that we add to our journey is a little bit more that we are gaining in the process. Every little bit piles up to be a little bit more. And then you pile up a little bit more, and then you pile up a little bit more, and then you pile up a little bit more, and then you're reaching heights you never thought possible, all because of the little bits. So I talk a lot about the little bits. But today our focus is on taking a chance on something new. And for people who are tentative in stepping out to new, this can be a challenge. I am not a worrier. I was just mentioning to my husband that when I go, I don't worry about going to a new place. I don't worry about going to a new church. I don't worry about going to a new organization. I just kind of jump in. And oftentimes people will come to me and ask me for directions or ask me for help because they assume that I know what to do, where to go. I know the information. I look like I know what's going on. Rarely do I know what's going on. I mentioned to someone the other day, my favorite thing when I was in high school, we lived in a very rural community and we would have parties. The kids would have parties, usually out in the outskirts. And you needed directions to get there. You did not have GPS. You had to have a map. You had to have somebody that knew where they were going. And more often than not, somehow me and whoever was with me, we ended up in the front of the line. And so I would just drive and see how many people we could get follow us around the community. But if you are willing to take that chance and step out into something new, you create so many more opportunities because you see things you wouldn't have seen before. You see them in a new way, you see them in a new light. So when you take a chance on something new, one, you find inspiration. Two, you cultivate growth. Three, you elevate you above your limitations. Four, you foster adaptability. And five, you see with new perspective. First, you find inspiration. The more you try new stuff, the more you find new stuff to try. Um, I, I tried to do a green smoothie challenge many years ago when the boys were younger. And my goal was 7 days of green smoothies. But then I found a 21-day raw challenge, and it involved green smoothies, other types of smoothies, and pretty much anything raw because, it was a raw challenge. And what I found is when I tried these raw foods, I discovered flavors, new flavors that, I mean, they had been there all along, but like celery, I had no idea how much pepper flavor there was in a piece of celery. And the more I tried, the more I discovered. And a lot of the recipes that I learned through that challenge, I continue to use and even take to potlucks. People have no idea that they're eating a raw vegetable dish. They just enjoy the flavors. And it taught me to try new flavors and new flavor combinations. When we do something new, we are inspired into finding other new things. It's not about what you're thinking or what you're going through. Sometimes it is about what you find in the process. So when you dare to take a chance on something new, you find inspiration through the process of the new, not necessarily in the new. You may not enjoy the new. You may not enjoy green smoothies, but in the process of trying them, you discover so much more than you would have found had you not tried the new in the first place. So be willing to look for inspiration in the attempts at something new. The second thing is that you will cultivate growth and a growth mindset when you dare to try something new. Um, Sometimes it's going to be for your mind, and sometimes it's going to be for your body. When you step out into something different, you expand your horizons. Several years ago, a friend of mine invited me to go to yoga with her. I wrote a series on what yoga and I encountered together because yoga to me was, my first one was, I believe my yoga teacher's trying to kill me because it felt that way sometimes. But what I discovered by going to yoga is that yoga combined several aspects of my favorite things in exercise. And it stretched my mind to see things differently, and it stretched my body. But had I never attempted to go to yoga, then I would never have learned that some yoga positions will help with sinus issues or even with migraines. I would not have learned that I can get a full cardio workout doing yoga. It, I, it cultivated a growth mindset in me because it allowed me to see things differently. Instead of the traditional, you have to go to the gym or you have to run 40 miles in order to be healthy, I began to see that because of this new process, this new pathway, that I could be healthy and get the exercise I needed doing things differently. So when you try something new, you begin to grow through your thought process, grow through your physical abilities. Trust me when I say yoga will make you more stretchy. So be invested in trying new things so that you can cultivate this idea, this mindset of growth possibilities. The third thing you want to think about is that when you invest in something new and you try something new, you begin to um, elevate yourself above limitations, even the limitations that you had set before. When you attempt something new and you learn through the attempt process, even if you don't get to the end, then you learn something and you elevate yourself above the limits that you had set for yourself before. I had the opportunity to do a pamper pole, which is a telephone pole that you climb up, and then there's a little teeny tiny square on top, and you balance on top of that little teeny tiny square on top of this big tall telephone pole, and then you leap off the telephone pole and grab a trapeze, unless you're 5 feet tall. And then what you're really doing is just leaping into the air like a flying squirrel. Only a flying squirrel has a parachute. I only had a tether. I was belayed into a safety harness, but I leaped. And what I found is that I could not reach the um, trapeze itself. I just did not have the vertical leap to do so, but I could touch it. I could do more than I thought was possible. And because I was willing to try something new, I had never heard of a pamper pole. Because I was willing to try it, I was able to stretch myself beyond anywhere I had ever been before. So I elevated myself above the limitations I had before. And because I elevated myself a little bit above the limitations I had before, I now had the ability to try new things that would elevate me a little more. So every time that we try something new and we try something different and we try something beyond our normal and expected, we elevate ourselves just a little bit above the limitations we had before we tried. So look for things that are new and different, particularly things that will expand your vision of your unique design, of expand your vision of your possibilities, that will move you towards the goals that you have set for your journey. But do try something new to elevate beyond your limitations. The fourth thing you want to think about is that when you try something new, you foster adaptability. It is so important in our journey that we're willing to adapt, not just willing to adapt, but able to adapt. I always think of the story about the tree that is grown in nature versus a tree that is grown in sheltered greenhouse. A tree that is grown in a sheltered greenhouse can never be put out into the open because it'll break. The actual blowing of the wind and the moving of the wind strengthens the tree and is necessary for the tree to be able to survive out in the open. We need to be moving with the wind and adapting to changing environments so that we don't shut down when things happen. And the more we try something new, the more we push ourselves to flex a little bit, to be a little bit flexible in what we're doing, to be okay when things don't go exactly as we planned. Because when we're doing something new, we really don't know what to expect. So we can't really plan for those expectations. We have to be adaptable in a new situation because it's new to us. So, in doing new things, we push ourselves to be more flexible so we can take that back to our regularly scheduled program, and we can be prepared that when life throws something at us, we can duck and dodge and flex and twist in order to get through what the world is throwing at us. You don't think about trying something new as being able to give you the adaptability in your daily life, but it's showing you how to stretch. And every time you stretch, every time you strengthen your muscles, you're preparing yourself for the next step in what you are designed to do. When you are taking ballroom dancing, if you are doing yoga, you're stretching muscles that that will work for you when you're dancing, and vice versa. The same thing is true when we try something new. When we try something new, we stretch. And when we stretch, we create adaptability for the journey when we come back to our daily lives. Be invested in trying something new to create the flexibility you need to fly into your possibilities. And finally, when you take a chance on something new and you try something new, you will see with a new perspective. You'll see things differently. And you can't help but see things differently because you're doing something different. You're doing something new. It's just like with that green smoothie challenge, the raw food challenge. When I tried raw foods and tried raw food recipes, I discovered flavors and things that I liked that I would never have discovered outside of trying this something new. For instance, who knew that if you crushed up mushrooms and walnuts together, you could make almost a perfect meat substitute? I would never have believed it. I mean, I was a meat and potatoes kind of person, but it was really good. It's great for like meatballs or stuffed peppers or something like that. But had I not been willing to try something new, I would never have had that new perspective that flavors can be combined in ways that I didn't know, that opportunities could be crafted together, that this event could actually be a catalyst to that event. It is in doing the new things that I begin to see things from a new perspective. I encounter people that I would not have encountered otherwise had I not invested in this new opportunity. And when I encounter new people, I encounter new personalities. And when I encounter new personalities, if I am willing and open, I will see new ideas. And their new ideas can lead me to my new idea that can lead you to your new idea because we're investing in this something new. And every time you invest in something new and you try something new, more new sprouts up around it. So you expand your perspective, you expand your vision, you expand your understanding. You grow and learn and continue to spread and grow and learn and continue to spread. And that's essential. If you're going to live your best life, you have to be invested in this continuous expanding and growing and understanding more in order to become more. Otherwise, go back to the other day. We talked about it. If you're not growing, you're stagnating. And who wants to be around stagnating people? So find ways to get invested in trying something new, in taking a risk on something new, in doing something that is new to you, completely new to you, because it's going to help you find inspiration. It's going to help you cultivate growth in your mind and in your body. It's going to help you elevate above your limitations. It's going to help you foster your adaptability and flexibility, and it's going to help you see with new perspective. And the more you're doing this, the more that you're invested in all of these aspects, the more you're going to see out there that's available to you in your unique design and in your purpose. Instead of not knowing what to do next, you're going to have so many options that you can align them perfectly with who you are designed to be. And that is the way you live out your best life. You have so many opportunities that you can hone them down into who you are and who you're designed to be, and your unique personality and gifts and talents and passions and heart seed. And then you step it out and you change the world. And trying something new helps you get to that place. It sets a firm foundation for more. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Growing Hope, where we are reaching into to grasp our possibilities. We are daring to keep on keeping on. We are living our best lives. If you are struggling in any way, or if you just want to chat and say hi, run over to catherinelang.com and snag you a time. Let's chat. It's 20 minutes. It's completely free. And I am here to encourage you and support you in whatever it is you're doing. So let's talk today. Thank you again for joining Growing Hope. Remember, subscribe to the channel and share with a friend, and find a way in all that you're doing. Be blessed. Be blessed.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Catherine Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.catherinelang.com to invite Catherine to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.